Today on Sally, parents squabble over spanking.
Once I give them a good whack, you know what I'm saying? They know not to do that no more.
Dads are doling out the discipline.
They should know that no means no.
But moms say you're too tough on the kids.
I see the fear in their eyes.
And it's tearing these couples apart.
We did split up for 2 weeks over it.
Do you think your tactics are working?
All I'm asking is respect.
I hate the way you treat our kids. Today on Sally.
Talking to my children just don't work, so therefore I have to whoop. Why does he have to holler at the kids? Why can't he just talk to them?
When my kids are misbehaving, I do what I gotta do. I give them that good old spanking.
About this idea, if any of you have children or grandchildren or your friends have children, how do you discipline them? One of the big questions of our time, because we have a lot of undisciplined kids, as you know from watching talk shows. Some of our guests today grew up in a family that wouldn't dream of hitting or spanking when a child misbehaved. The spouses, some of them grew up in families where a good old-fashioned whooping, as they said, was the only answer to bad behavior. Now, what happens when these people marry and they're raising their own kids? What are they going to do? Every parent believes that children need discipline. But who's to say what is appropriate and what is extreme? Parents across the country are bitterly divided on how to raise their children. But what happens when time out accomplishes nothing? Is spanking your child abuse or the only possible answer? That's an angry child, right? Is that one of yours?
No.
Meet Charlie and his wife, Annette. They are married, and they have 3 young children. Both of them they're the mother and the father. And guess what? Agreeing on how to punish their kids is now tearing their relationship apart. When it comes to discipline, Charlie, for you, what's fair game?
Fair game is everything for me. If you got to spank, I scold, I punish. I just take it to the extreme sometimes because I like discipline. I like authoritative run house. You know what I'm saying? And I do what's necessary to make things happen for me. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to her, she doesn't want to do these things. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Spanking belts.
No.
But they're your children
They're
too.
my children too, and I see the fear in their eyes.
Ain't no fear.
I see the fear in their eyes.
They should have fear.
Well,
they should have fear of authority. And that's what I keep telling
authority
you.
is one
they
thing,
have to learn respect
and walking on eggshells is another, Charlie.
Eggshells. They don't walk on eggshells. They just know that they can't do this.
Okay,
they can't
my
do that.
youngest child.
How do you want your son?
My youngest child is like, he's in the army, and yes, Daddy.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
No,
That's the way it's supposed to
when
be.
he's an adult, he's not even going to be, he's not going to, he's going to think twice before
No,
talking to him.
he's going to learn from that, and
he's
when
going to
he
think
grows up,
twice.
he's going to learn how to deal with life in crisis situations.
How do you want the children disciplined?
Okay, there should be a little discipline, okay? I'm not saying, but not all the spanking, no, we're not the army here.
She rewards them for
We're not
being
the
bad.
army, and
She'll
we're not...
give them whatever they want for being bad. I'm like, that don't make no sense to me.
I do not give them everything. I give them their time out. I take away what they like.
No, you don't.
But I don't hit them every time.
You don't take nothing from them. You don't take nothing from them.
So
they get to do as they
let
please.
me understand, Charlie, you believe in the belt, right?
Yeah, I believe in the belt. I believe in
walls and, sit there and don't speak and all that nonsense. Come on now. Daddy, can I go to the bathroom? Come on, they don't have to ask for permission to go to the bathroom.
Do they
have a punishment they doing that? Because the kids have this.
They do not have to ask for permission to go to the damn bathroom.
They're sitting there. If you make them sit, all right, if she makes them sit down, what they'll do is they'll go to the bathroom, and then they're going. You know what I'm saying? So what's the punishment? You know what I'm saying? They went to the bathroom, and then there's no more punishment. I make them sit there, and if they have to go somewhere, you ask me, let me know what you're doing, and then you have to come back, and you have to continue your punishment. She just lets them wander around the house, and then about 5 minutes later,
well, first, how old are the children? Let's start.
I got an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
Okay, we just wanted to know, but the 5-year-old's the one you say has fear in his eyes.
He's a brat. He's spoiled, and it's bad because her parents, they add to the situation because we stay over there a lot, and what happens is, you know, the parents, they've never hit children in their life. And if I, you know, if I chastise children in front of her parents,
from, and I'm not a bad
adult. Doesn't talk to me no more.
Does he name call the kids? Like what?
You're gonna get it all stupid. Nuts, sit your ass down and stop doing this.
But I don't do that. But I don't do that. Hold on.
Do.
But I don't do that in the. But I don't do it in the system.
And then he laughs. You know what I'm saying? And then he laughs, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm telling you as a joke. No, you already told them, and you already put that in their mind.
But they understand.
And the way you treat these children are the adults they're gonna be.
They understand.
Okay, that's it.
With Charlie and Annette's, hold on. Obviously, you can tell that they're having problems. With Charlie and Annette's permission, we placed a very small camera in their home to capture some of what goes on when they misbehave. Now, you should know this. The whole family, the children included, knew the camera was rolling. So this is not a recreation. This is what is typical in their home. Okay?
Sit your ass down. That's the line.
So where did you see name calling out? There was no
Sit
name
your
calling.
stupid ass down. You just told them right there.
What that situation
Did everybody see that?
What happened over the weekend?
What that situation was that he lied to me totally. You can't tell me no lies, all right? And what I try to explain to my kids is, you're only trying to get where I've been already, you know what I'm saying? So I know what needs to be done. And this one, she doesn't allow she don't want no discipline.
Now, he is saying that you are not consistent. Meaning that if you discipline, and I believe you discipline without corporal punishment, without hitting or touching, because I agree with you. I think if you hit, you're teaching a child violence. If you use a belt, you're teaching a child violence. Now, but you have to, two of you have to agree. And there's no, if they go to the bathroom, they have to return if they're being punished.
What I'm noticing is that they know when me and him
children do.
When we're
absolutely, they play both ends against each other.
That's exactly what they're doing.
For me, this is for me. We live in the inner city. It's rough out there.
That's
for
right.
me. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna walk down the block one day and see my kid stand on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Doing wrong things. And if he knows that I have that there's rules and regulations, and there's consequences when you break those rules and regulations, all right, that he's going to think twice before he goes out there and does something stupid.
I agree with you, but I do not, and I also agree in very firm discipline. My kids, I asked them last night, and they said, you're a very firm disciplinarian. Discipline does not mean hitting.
But it does not mean it's, but it doesn't mean it doesn't, all right? It doesn't mean it doesn't. It's not like it's not like I go and I beat the kids for everything. No, I give them a talking to. I explain to them the rights, the wrongs, all right? It's what happens after that. If you continue to do this, all right, the talking is not working, all right? She'll sit them down on the couch. That's not working. So what's next? Huh? Just to keep talking and wasting my breath.
Why does it not work when you sit a child down and say, now let's understand why what you did is wrong? That works if you really talk to a child. Any child, you bring me any child, and I can explain to them quietly why it doesn't work.
But kids are testing too.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
my daughter and I, we confront. And she doesn't act out with me the way she acts out with you, though. I mean, she knows me and her.
That I understand. That.
Me and her, okay, I sit her down and I tell her, listen, Sydney, you just, you can't do that. You have to act a little more ladylike. Little girls shouldn't be doing this and this and that. And she understands.
An hour later, she's doing the same thing.
No, she is not. She does it to you.
She does so.
She does it to you because she knows she can get over
on you. She does the same thing. Then you take her back and you sit down and you say, okay, now we talked about that. Explain it to me.
Yes, and well, listen, Rome wasn't built in one day. It takes time to build these children up, okay?
All right.
We can't, all of a sudden tell them that once, and they're going to learn it forever.
How many times do you talk to a child? How many times do you talk to a child about the same thing?
I'm an adult.
Over and over and over. I spank them. Once I give them a good whack, you know what I'm saying? They know not to do that no more. They know not to do that no more.
I don't know about that. I think they know that they can solve a problem with a whack, and they'll go to school and whack somebody else.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, we got the message. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to the two of you. Next, we're going to meet a woman who says that her husband's way of punishing the children is cruel and inhumane. He says you got to break them in while they're young. I don't know what break them in. Now, they had plans to get married. The plans are off. This is also a case with stepchild. We will be right back.
I was yelling on the phone. I come out to see my children is that I'm yelling. My son is crying because I'm yelling, and my other son's in the closet. You know, it's ridiculous. Scared. It's ridiculous.
If I'm raising children that age, they should know that no means no. That's all I'm asking is respect.
On the next Sally, caught on tape. Wild and wacky moments. A peaceful fishing trip turns to terror. A brave store clerk clocks a gunman. And who invited him to the wedding? Outrageous video you won't believe. Next Sally.
How do you decide where to draw the line when it comes to punishing your children? Why are children today so undisciplined? What about spanking? What about hitting them with a belt? What about screaming? What about hollering? What about calling names? This is Christine and Jason. They were living together. Jason moved out. Christine said that's because the children are scared to death of Jason. Now, there are 3 children. They are 1, 2, and 3 years of age. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Note that this couple is 10 to 15 years younger than the couple on the first segment. The first child, the oldest child, is yours.
Mm-hmm. My daughter.
Biological.
Yes.
And you have your, and you have two
sons
together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
you've broken off an engagement. Christina, you disagree with the way he treats the children.
Yes.
All 3?
The 2 oldest. The 9-month, no, really, he's not disciplined. You know, just a
Okay, why do you disagree with what he does? What does he do that you do not like?
I don't agree with the spanking, the hitting, the yelling, the cursing, the keeping them in the...
There's not even yelling and cursing
keeping
like
them in, putting Michaela, the 3-year-old, in the corner for about 15 minutes, leaving me in the crib.
Because it's just like what he was saying. She goes to the bathroom, she goes and wanders off here and there, so I just put her back, you know what I mean? The thing is with her is that she has this daughter before we were together, and her mother, because she had her at a young age, her mother is really involved.
Okay, well, how about the time?
Raising.
Okay, how about the time?
Hold on.
Our wait, listen. Our 1.5-year-old son was in the crib, okay, and he went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
He took his diaper off. Wait, I'm talking. He took his diaper off. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, first off, this is the thing.
He took his diaper off.
He took his diaper off, and he made a mess all over the place.
Babies do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And
but the thing is, I put him.
20 minutes.
Yo, this is the thing. It's like this.
He put him in the bath. Hold on. He put him in the bathtub for 20 minutes.
Left him in the bathtub 20 minutes.
Where was
the
water?
Tell the whole story.
That's not
in the bathtub.
Was there an adult there?
Yeah, he was watching the baseball game. He went. I was like, you know, he wouldn't take him out the last inning.
It wasn't even like that.
Was there somebody in the bathroom with the child?
No.
No.
The child was alone in the tub?
No, the bathroom, like, the living room is like right here, and then there's a hallway, and the bathroom is right as the hallway begins, and he's right there.
There's a child is it in water?
Yeah, like water, like this high. It's like a few inches. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, man. It's not. No, it wasn't. My thing was this, Sally. Is like he knew. He knew.
Yes.
No.
You could not notice. If you're watching television, that child could drown.
We're both in the house, you know what I'm saying? So we're both in the house. You see what I'm saying? It's not even like that. She's there with me, too. I mean, if it was some danger like that, she was right there.
In the house is not the same. We have people who say, I turned my back for 1 second and the child let themselves in a swimming pool.
It wasn't like I was just sitting there just watching the game and not paying any attention to him. You know what I mean?
All right. Do you think your tactics, the children are 1, 2, and 3. You were pregnant when this happened with the bathtub?
I was about 8 months pregnant.
Do you think your tactics are working, Jason?
Yeah, they work. I mean, they don't.
To put fear in them.
They don't.
That's
no,
it.
they don't listen to her at all. I mean, if it's fear, I mean, because I don't want
nobody.
It's all. You have to protect them.
They're too young. They're too young for discipline.
If you're scared of something,
okay, when Jason plays around and he's
when is the age? When is the age? You know what I mean?
Okay, appropriate kind of discipline could be, okay, he acts out, put him in his crib for 5 minutes, Jason. You don't have to yell at him. You don't have to
Hey, Sally, I come over to see the kids or to bring them something. They're climbing on the counters. They're running around all over the house where there's knives. You know what I'm saying? All in the refrigerator. There's all kind of stuff. There's been incidents before when she's with them where they get into all kind of stuff. She doesn't have any. There's no. limits in the house, none. She has no limits for them, and then that's why I had to move out. I can't deal with this.
Do you feel that you are not disciplining them at all?
No, I do. I discipline them.
What do you do?
Okay.
What do you do?
If my oldest daughter, Nikayla,
put her to bed with the TV on. You know what is that?
Nikayla, my oldest,
that's not discipline.
3 years old. If she acts out, I put her in her bedroom with the TV off, and I take her out.
One at a time. One at a time.
I put her in her bedroom. I sit her on the bed. I talk to her. I tell her what she did wrong, and then after about 10 minutes, I let her come out and let her, and go back and play.
It's not even 2 minutes.
It's not
even 2 minutes. You don't even tell her anything. She gets away with anything.
No,
I mean, whatever she does. This is the thing.
We're talking
about a 1, 2, and 3-year-old child. These are babies.
They're babies. Yes.
But my point is this. I mean, I don't want to hit my children. I'm not the type of person. I don't want to hit my children. But I think once they learn nah, I don't ever have to use my belt. I just say, oh, I'm going to go get my belt. I'm going to go get my belt. Or I just crack it or something like that. And they know better. They'll do what I tell them to do. I mean, like her, she'll sit there and tell them things 20 times. This is the whole intent isn't to try to harm them. It's to try to teach them, because in life you just can't go around and just do whatever you want to do. There's going to be consequences. And that's what she doesn't understand.
And the consequences help hurting their self-esteem, making them scared.
No, that's not it at all.
Jason,
That's why you talk
the other
to them.
day,
You don't just,
when I was on the phone, I was upset the other day on the phone. I was yelling on the phone. I come out to see where my children is. I'm yelling. My son is crying because I'm yelling. And my other son's in the closet. It's ridiculous. Scared. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Hi. I have a comment. Being consistent and disciplining them is one of the most important things, but hitting your children, cursing at them, they are going to end up doing that to their children.
They're a mess.
We'll be right back. Does he not treat the children equally, the 3 and the 1?
No. He is more stricter on my child than he is his 3.
If I'm raising children that age, they should know that no means no. As long as they're in my house, they're going to do right. They're going to do right.
If you're going to be in the New York City area and would like free tickets to be in the Sally Show audience, please call 212-244-3595. Did you have a wacky or unusual wedding that you'd like to share with us? If so, please call us at 1-800-93-SALLY and tell us about it.
We're trying to span the child rearing years. So this is Wayne, and he's 40. So we've spanned from 20 through 40, which we think is correct. Our next guest, and her name is Tina, does not like the way her husband treats the children when they misbehave, but there is more to the story. Wayne and Tina, you disagree on Tina's method of discipline, and you disagree on Wayne's method of discipline. Is that correct? You bring to the table a child from a previous relationship?
True.
And you bring
3
children. So together they have 4. They're the Brady bunch of putting this family together. Tina, what do you think he does wrong? What do you disagree with?
I think when it comes to disciplining a child, our problem is with my child.
Your child?
My child. Yeah, that's the one we had most of the problems with.
Does he not treat the children equally, the 3 and the 1?
No. He is more stricter on my child than he is his 3.
Okay. How old are the children that we're talking about? Well, first tell me the age of the children, because I think it matters whether we're talking... In the last case, we were talking about 1, 2, and 3-year-olds. We're now talking about what?
15, 14, 11, and the youngest was 7.
That's a lot harder to, I think, to discipline when you haven't been there, both of you, the whole time.
Right.
So you have different rules.
Right.
So what does he do to your daughter that you don't agree with?
I just feel mostly that he rides my daughter more than he rides his own kids. I mean, my daughter,
yeah, in certain ways I do. I was raised, I'm 40 years old. If you get out on the street in New York City and the red light is red, the cops expect you to know that the red light is red and you should stop.
Right.
If I'm raising children that age, they should know that no means no.
Okay, now you are not a believer.
You don't,
But let me understand something. You do not hit the kids or beat the kids?
No.
Do you call them names?
No.
So you don't hit, the other two men did. You do not hit,
No,
beat, or call them names?
No, I don't. But I do let them know that as long as they're in my house, like my father used to say, they're going to do right. They're going to do right. I don't care. You know, you go to the extent of trying to make a child what they are. That's why kids are running around out here and, you know.
So far, I'm agreeing with them. Tell me what
But there's so many
isn't
rules.
working.
I mean,
what do you mean, so many rules?
Kids are kids. I mean, you should love your kids. You should spend time with your kids. I mean, why nitpick the kids, you know?
When you have a family the size of ours, you need to run it like a business. You know, it's got to be a business. You know, I've got to do my part.
What do you think he's doing wrong? Be specific about what he's doing wrong.
If you want to ride my child all the time, I mean, she could, like,
Right, why are you harder on her daughter than you are on your three?
Well, she just doesn't know the meaning of be quiet. When I say something, if I put a question mark on the end of it, I've asked a question. If I've made a statement, I'm making a statement. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you to do it. You go do it then. Don't sit and tell me 100 reasons why you shouldn't do it.
So she's too noisy?
Oh, yeah. She's had occasion to scream at me out loud. And if she's 11 and can scream at me, then I'm going to go scream at her. If it makes me feel bad, it's going to make her feel bad.
Tina, we asked your daughter Jenny to tell us how she feels about the way her stepdad treats her. Take a look at this.
Lane treats me unfairly because he treats his kids better than he treats me. He's a whole lot more strict on me than he is to them. He grounds me and gets angry at me more often than he gets angry at his children.
All right, how do you answer that?
I do because I don't have the problem. My children do not stand up and yell at her. They know what they'll get when they do it. She should have respect for me to make sure that her child doesn't raise her voice to me. That's all I'm asking, is respect. Respect. That's all I want.
Tina,
and then,
what's wrong? What's wrong? You're very upset. What's wrong?
I feel he should treat my child like I treat his kids.
But we don't have that relationship because Jenny does not allow me to get close to her. She is at arm's length from me at any time.
Jenny is how old now?
11.
Should be 12.
She'll be 12.
She'll be 12. How long have you two been together?
We've been together 4 years and married 2 years. You know, to me, it's not a difficult problem. You know?
So she was 7 years old when you became her dad. Because you keep saying no, you keep using phrases, my child, your child, as opposed to our child.
Yeah.
So she was 7 when she became your child.
My stepchild. You
see, you're correcting me on step.
Okay.
There's a very interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you marry somebody, that's the package.
Right.
And you keep saying stepchild. I don't think it has a bad connotation. Stepmother, stepchild. It doesn't. Why aren't you saying she's my child since you're married to her mother?
Because I've had the occasion before to stand up and say something to Jennifer. She'll get angry with me. You're not my father. You're not my father. I'm not trying to be her father. I'm trying to be an example to her. You know, one thing I want to bring...
Are you splitting up over this?
No, it's to the point, though, that when we get into it over the children don't get the repercussions I do. She gets mad at me because I've disciplined the children, and it's not...
He don't fuss at Jenny. He fusses... If Jenny does something like, he'll say, Jenny, put the clothes in the dryer. Well, you told me to wash dishes. So what do you want me to do?
Is that complicated?
One time we'd had an argument.
Yeah, you have to tell the child...
Pick up the clothes, put them in the washer, take them out of the washer, put them in the dryer, fold them.
That's right.
And if you're raising an honor roll child...
But it should be a family deal. I mean, everybody should work together.
It is a family deal. I'm doing it. I mean,
How do you figure that you're doing it?
I'm doing it. I do enough of it.
Me and the kids do it.
How are his children, in your opinion? Are they disciplined?
Me and his kids have a relationship.
Right. But how do you think they are well-behaved children?
They're well-behaved children, but what gets me, we had separated one time before. The kids and I were in the living room, and Wayne was, I think he was on the computer or something, and the kids were hollering, playing on the floor, wrestling, just being kids. And Jenny, he's like, what's going on in there? And Jenny hollers, nothing or something. And he comes in there and hollers at my kid. And, you know, I could not take someone in Jenny's face hollering. And we did split up for 2 weeks over it. Because, you know, I don't yell at your kids. Why do you want to yell at mine?
But we keep saying yours and mine.
But your kids do different things. I mean, just say, for instance, Chris, we looked for his 15-year-old.
You know, we're not getting through to the yours and the mine. When we come back, we'll talk about this. There's a mother who says she's tried everything else. The only thing that works for her is a belt on a bare bottom. Her story next.
My son had told me that he was going to spend the night over a friend's house. The kids didn't come home until 7 o'clock in the morning and lied and say that they were at the person's house that they were supposed to be at.
What did you say to your son then?
I didn't say nothing. I'm right here.
Did you videotape your bizarre or unusual wedding? If so, please call us at 1-800-93-SALLY and tell us your story.
It's interesting that the majority of those polled, and there were over 3,000 people polled, were physically disciplined. So what happens when you've tried warning your kids, you put them in timeout too often to count, and they laugh at your threats to ground them? What about parenting classes? Well, our next guest is a mother who says she has even gone to parenting classes. She's tried it all and found the only way to punish her kids effectively is with this belt. Is that correct?
That's correct.
This is Jamaica. What do you do when there's no belt around?
Well, Sally, I've tried talking to my sons. I have 2 boys. And my son is 9, and he said he wants to be a gangster. So I feel that my son being a gangster, well, I'd rather discipline you than someone catching you on the streets and hurting you and disciplining you that way.
Okay, is there a man in the house?
Yes, there is.
And what does he believe?
He believes in talking.
He does. So this is the opposite of the couples that we've seen. Now, when he said he wanted to be a gangster, Jamaica, did you say, what do you mean by that? Because kids say these things.
Of course.
And what did he mean? What he said?
He looks up to, and if he come back bragging about how he beat up someone.
I wouldn't let that child in the house.
It's family. And
Wait. You're telling me, Jamaica, it's family. As long as he is getting away with all that behavior.
Oh no. When I spanked him last and gave him reason, you don't just whoop a child. You spank them and you let them know why you whooping them.
All right, what happened to the parenting classes?
Well, I was going to parenting, and I had the lady that was the instructor had no children. And she was telling me everything by the book. But to me, you have to be able to
I'm with you, Jamaica. Anytime a child psychologist or a child parenting person doesn't have children, then forget it. You have no background. You don't understand. I'm with you 100%. But what did she tell you to do?
She told me to talk with them.
To talk with them.
Talk with
them. You should talk with them. Right.
Yeah, but when you're just talking and they're not listening, then where do we result? What does that result to? Okay, because you can tell a child over and over again, please do this, Johnny, no, stop, and it ain't nothing happening. He's just going to keep doing it. He's going to run over you. You know what I'm saying?
All right. What is the camping story?
Oh, my son had told me that he was going to spend the night over a friend's house. And the little boy told his grandparents he'd spend the night over to my house, where neither one of them stayed at each other's house. They camped out in front of someone's house. And when they did that, it resulted in the police coming. The dogs, the canine dogs was looking after them.
Helicopters was flying all over my neighborhood, and the kids didn't come home until 7 o'clock in the morning and lied and say that they were at the person's house that they were supposed to be
So
at.
what did you say to your son then?
I didn't say nothing. I'm right here.
We'll be right back.
You two argue, and it's like this. Bubble, bubble, bubble. I can just imagine how your children feel. You need to change our behavior so our children's behavior changes.
If you're going to be in the New York City area and would like free tickets to be in the Sally Show audience, please call 212-244-3595. Did you have a wacky or unusual wedding that you caught on tape? If so, please call us at 1-800-93-SALLY and tell us about it.
Please welcome our aftercare specialist, Pat Ferrari, who has a lot to say. Okay, you will notice this is kind of the pro-strict and the not-so-strict. That's the way we've divided it up. Your own opinion. You've raised a child, correct?
Yeah, and a grandson.
And a grandson. Is it ever right to smack, hit, belt, pump on duro, para mi familia?
Or drown is right.
Drown, wash their mouth out with soap, or scream profanity.
No, it is
None of
not.
it.
None of it.
None of it.
The key...
But is it right to be strict? Remember, I told you I am very strict.
Yes, Sally, it is absolutely important that you are strict.
Because the kid knows you love them because you have rules and regulations.
Exactly, exactly.
It's what you mean by discipline.
Exactly. You, Charlie, made a statement in the first segment. I know I go to the extreme sometimes.
But there's a balance.
Okay, but wait, because I'm trying to help. What we have to do with children is set up rules, regulations, and boundaries. They have to have consequences for their actions.
All these men agree.
But each child is an individual, though.
I
Each
know,
child is an individual,
hear me out.
and you have to base it on individual. You can't set one set of rules for one child and, for all children, because each child is a different child. You know what I'm saying? So you got to deal with that child in that fashion.
I never said to you it's not different for each child.
So, my daughter, to me, she can do no wrong, which I know is wrong.
Why don't you listen? Because you're spoiling her. Sydney's going to walk around thinking the world is hers.
Can you imagine how the kids feel?
First of all, it is that way. But
Okay? You two argue, and it's like this. Bubble, bubble, bubble. I can just imagine how your children feel. I'm not saying that you're bad guys, these are good guys. It's not about that. It's about, like Sally said, you come together as a family. When you're planning a child, or while your wife is pregnant, you start asking, well, how do you want to raise this child? Let's set up rules and regulations of the house. Great. Do you believe in hitting? Yes. Do you believe in hitting? No. Well, let's come to some sort of medium, because the worst thing you can do for a child is to confuse them by one action, another action, they don't know what to do. And sometimes, let me ask you a question. When was the last time your children came home and you just simply said, you did a good job today?
Oh, I give them compliments.
A lot?
When I can.
Okay.
When they deserve it.
Okay. When they deserve a compliment.
Right.
When they have a rough day and they come home, the first thing you should say when you see your kids is, how was your day today? I missed you.
That is always do your
Give them a kiss.
A hug and a kiss, and I'm happy you're home.
Let me. I haven't gotten to you yet. And I will.
But how do you take an attitude of a child that just don't want to have anything to do with you?
Okay.
You walk through the door.
When you got married, when you decided to come together, Sally said it to a T. It is no longer my child and my child. It is your children.
Okay, well, how do you handle it when one of your children hate you?
Okay. We should have discussed this prior to marriage.
Yeah.
But we didn't. So this is what we need to do. The key is we need to change our behavior so our children's behavior changes.
I'll answer the question. If it were my stepchild and she did not like me, I would understand there's something going on. I would take that child out to lunch or to dinner, to a movie, or all day to the zoo. I would be with that child alone. I would get into conversation. They're very hard to get to. When they're 12, they're hard to get to. I would spend hours with that child till the child finally fessed up what was wrong.
What am I going to do? Tie her up and put her in the van with me? She's not even going to get in the van with me.
She has to help her. She has to help her.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Okay, more with Pat when we return. You talked to Charlie, you didn't talk to Jason.
Okay, Jason, I know that you're going to school, and that's wonderful and terrific, and I know that you are hoping for, you know, a better education for yourself, a better life for yourself. I think that's wonderful and terrific. You look like a really nice guy, and you said to me backstage that you wanted to change, you wanted this thing to work, and you wanted to be able to raise your children so they become healthy, healthy parents themselves. What's happening here is that children learn abuse from abuse. If you're hitting your children, they are then going to handle confrontation.
But you know what? It's not even like I hit them, though.
Hold on. Let me. You didn't hit them. I know that. But sitting her in a bathtub she could have gotten hypothermia. I'm telling you.
Let's go to the not-so-disciplined group.
You all have to come together, okay? And you have to be consistent with what you say. When you take a child and you say to a child and you hold them, don't think I haven't had to do this. You hold them and you say, this behavior is not good. There are some consequences, but you need to give your kids choices.
Not candy.
Here we go. Here's the roses. Those roses, I tell you, Jason, don't move those roses, please, because Mommy likes them here. Jason comes up and does this, right? I say, Jason, I asked you not to do that. Let's make a choice, Jason. I'm going to give you a choice. If you move the roses, there's going to be a consequence. You will be grounded or you will have time out. If you don't move those roses, then I'll be very pleased. Yeah. Very pleased. Kids always want their parents' approval.
But it's not consistency. I do that.
Do you give your child a choice? Do you give your children choices?
The kid is running the house.
You know what?
I give them what I say do.
I gotta get to what they say.
She gives them too many choices. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. She tries too much to befriend them.
All right. It's a blessing that they're in my life, and I'm gonna make their life as comfortable and happy as possible. It's my job to make them happy. If they misbehave,
no, it's your job to bring up good children, not to make them happy.
Well, listen,
no, not to make them happy. That's not your job.
Let me work with the women for a minute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And that's exactly what you should do to a child when you discipline them. You listened.
And then if I continue
all right, now, Pat, you're going to spend time with the couples after the show.
I'm going to spend time with the couples after the show.
But what do you want to say to the women right now?
What's happening is that you need to be consistent.
Children have chores. Do your children have chores?
You have to outline
They do
what
their
their
chores.
responsibilities are.
Yes, they do.
You
They
have to
continue
outline
their
what your
chores.
expectations
They
are.
come home, they do
You
their
have to tell
homework,
them
they come
that
home,
you're
they take care of their
disappointed.
personals.
Hello? You have to tell them that you're disappointed when they're not doing something that you expect them to do. A child always wants a parent's approval. Disappointment is the worst hurt. A belt? It's gone. The hurt is gone. They do the same thing.
Oh, no,
but if they fail,
all right, Pat continues with the kids. We'll be right back.
Did you have a wacky or unusual wedding that you'd like to share with us? If so, please call us at 1-800-93-SALLY and tell us about it. On the next Sally, caught on tape. Wild and wacky moments. A peaceful fishing trip turns to terror. A brave store clerk clocks a gunman. And who invited him to the wedding? Outrageous video you won't believe. Next Sally.
Equal amount of love. They have to know you love them very much. You're in their corner. You're crazy about them. You think they're valuable. You spend a lot of time loving them. And you also have real rules, real regulations, real chores that have to be done. And every child in the family is a productive member of the family and of society. Pat's going to have her hands full trying to discipline the parents about discipline, and if all else fails, she has words of advice on our website. Thanks for watching us, and if you need discipline advice, as I said, it's there on the website, sallyjr.com. See you down the road.